Yeah, just a quick one about the fruit market. Do you know what was funny? When I first went into the fruit market, they used to have sacks there, big sacks of potatoes. Nowadays it's bags, yeah, paper bags. But in my time, when I first went in there, they had the big sacks, and the sacks used to weigh about 112 pounds. Massive, great big sacks, hundredweights, yeah, big wide sacks of potatoes. And they used to have also oranges, yeah, that come in wooden boxes, one, two, three tiers, and they used to weigh easy, £100, like £112, yeah, easy that. Of course, when I first went in there, being that I was on North Side's Porter, I was to unload, because it started to get the paper and the oranges to come in big, smaller bags, smaller wooden boxes. Then it become paper, cardboard boxes, yeah. But when I first went in there, it was the sacks, mate, and I never knew really how to stack them. Certain stacks had five, 3, 4, and all that. They know the stacks. How to put them, how to do them, and I didn't really know how to learn. Yeah. So these sacks, mate. Oh Jesus! And when I first went in the North Sides, and Colin Crackles had a go at me, being outside and nicking anything he's got to buy it and all that. And anyway, so he taught me how to pick the sacks up. These big sacks, massive sacks, mate, of potatoes. Stand, whoop, bam, bang them on your head, and have to run upstairs with up ladders. The ladder, not like ladders today, but these big wooden, solid ladders, yeah. And you should run up with these fucking things and a big sack of potatoes on your head. You can imagine, and a lot of these, because our firm we had was everything, like potatoes, oranges, apples, pears, plums, peaches, grapes, everything, like, carrots and sprouts and all these sort of things, yeah, different sorts of potatoes, yeah. So you're learning, like to stack it all up, But when I went in there, and the growers and people that have got just do potato firms, potatoes, and that's all they do, right? They've got necks like that. Their necks have got to be 22 for 23-inch necks, mate, and they've got arms like that, where they pick these up all day long, these big fuck off potatoes on their heads, yeah, and these oranges. And you get the ones that just do fruit, and got these big oranges on and that. And I used to work with a guy. What it was because I was in the fruit market, and when I was working nights, I wanted a day job as a porter because that was what I liked. And so I went up to Kenny Edwards. That was Kenny Bar. Anyway, I went in there. No, Alan. Alan Lacey or something like that. He was the rep, for the market, and you had to ask him to get you a job, and he didn't like me, mate. He didn't like me. He didn't like me at all, but he'd give me little jobs, yeah. And he gave me a job because I worked in there. Come and people, Colin Crackle talk to him, other people talk to him, give him a job. You know what I mean? Don't know about his age, give him a job. And they put me on a what do you call it? On this place that just sells plums, peaches, pears, them sort of things, yeah. And I worked with one of the Collinses, yeah, mate. And this Collins, right, was, I don't know, 13 stone, 6'1", 6'2", but very wiry. And I was a lump. I was quite big, come back my YP and I went quite big, No, it was before my YP, sorry. So I was still a lump, And, mate, unloading the lorries, unloading the motors when they come in, in the morning, for the whole day, because it was that place was packed, so busy, busy. And I used to go out with him all the time in the listers. We used to go out and do loads, yeah. And when the lorries come in, you don't realise how powerful these porters are, you know. And this Collins, these boxes, bushel boxes, he carried 3 on his shoulder, mate. Put 3 on his shoulder and pick them up, bang, and stack them up, and go up the ladder, bang, you know. You fucking hell, man. I could just about do one, you know what I mean? And after about, I was on that porting, I was on there about 4 weeks, yeah. I started to learn, how to do it, pick it up, you know, and mate, them porters are so strong, fucking hell, so strong. And I worked for a guy called Joe Strong. Joe Strong, go back years, mate, Joe. And he was one of the old porters. Strong, that was his name. That is, he wasn't Strong, but they called him Strong, Joe Strong. You know, he was Jewish, glasses, big nose, as they do have. Big man, 6'4", got to be 20 stone. Still very, very big. Very, very big man. Shirt, tie, because he's got his own company. Big man. And Joe Strong, the reason they call him Joe Strong, because he used to do things with phenomenal strength, mate. Like barrows. The barrows you run with, yeah. Greengrocers usually would stack all this stuff on, yeah. But he used to pick them up, mate. He used to turn them over and pick them up above his head. And that's phenomenal strength, you know what I mean? Because it's not in one lump. It's long. You've got to bounce, you know, it's not that easy. And I kept trying to do it. Me, my ex-co-defendant Martin Worsfold, Derek Pearce, they was all big, strong people, yeah? And Bobby Collins worked for Joe Strong. And Bobby Collins had hands like that. He had massive hands. And he was like, same. He used to wear steel metal toe cap boots to work. He was strong, you know, and he was like, he couldn't do it, but I used to see him run up the ladder with these big oranges, 3-tier boxes, 112-pound oranges on his head, and they used to put them like not on the head that way, but long ways, because they used to stack them like that, yeah? Fucking hell, man. That was crazy. That was crazy. That was crazy. The strength of these porters. And I see me, Martin Worsfold, Derek Pearce was getting into this, picking the barrow up and turning it over. I turned it over once, yeah, but I turned it over a bit. It was a smaller barrow, a little bit smaller than the ones that Joe used to do. Mate, he'd come out, Joe, old man like that, 80s, maybe even more than that, and come out and just turn it over. Big man still, turn it, easy. And I loved it the way he used to do it, you know, I loved it. And me and Martin Worsfold, my co-defendant, yeah, I'm not going to say that no more, co-defendant, yeah, forget about it. Me and Martin, we used to, like, when I helped him out on his stand, he was on a potato growers, yeah? Fucking hell, mate, I had big arms, fucking neck. Powerful people. And I give him a hand, and some of the greengrocers, some of the greengrocers that come into the stand, right, that come in like Larry and don't want to give you a drink or nothing, yeah, a little tip for getting out there a bit quick, so you make them wait, and they come in shouting and screaming, and then the governor of the stand comes out, come and get his gear and all that. So we know who he was, yeah, this guy who gets shouting about. So me and Martin picked the back of the the van up, picked the back strong. picked the back of the van up, and I put 2 bushel boxes at the back, so the wheels was about inch off the floor. And mate, what's the green guys when they come back, yeah, and they look at that and they fucking can't get it up. They can't pick it up to get the boxes off. And there's murders. But I love that. I love that fruit market, mate. I loved it. I loved it when we used to do the thieving. You know, because inside the market, yeah, all the stands in there, and there was all cages, you know, wooden cages, and just put the cages up. You know, they all had chains on them and locks on them, but we used to pick 2 up, push it along, so you got a gap of a foot, get in there, and nick all the dates and all the nuts, as we used to. We used to nick all the nuts, all the dates. Oh, when I was a night porter. I earned a lot of money, mate, but I didn't like night porters. I wanted to be a day man, because it was better. It was more of a laugh, you know, and fights. One of the greatest fights I ever see was Colin Cracknell, when he fought Jimmy Wilkinson. Jimmy Wilkinson was one of the Wembley Bank robbers. Bertie Smalls, the Glass, Brian Turner, Mickey Green, all them people, you know, them people were the ones who got nicked with him, Wilkinson. And Wilkinson was a dangerous man. Could have a terrible fight, and he was dangerous. You know, if you upset him, mate, you was in problems, you had trouble. And Colin Cracknell was exactly like that in a way. He was very easy to wind up, and he just want to fight, and he want to fucking throw punches straight away. Him and Wilkinson, I think it was about Colin Wilkinson's dad, Joe Wilkinson. I think his name is I forget. Joker Wilkinson, sorry, and big man with glasses. The old school greengrocer can have a right terrible fight in his days. All the old boys, they all got good names, fighting names on a dirt track, on the old hill stalls and all that. Fighting men, yeah. He's gone in to get something of Cracknell. Cracknell's give him a bit of abuse. You don't Joker Wilkinson. You don't give them people abuse. You know, you've got to respect them people, even if they say the wrong things. You've got to still respect them because of who they are. Colin's got into one. Joker Wilkinson's got into one. Joker Wilkinson's gone and got his son. Colin and him had a fight. Colin bashed Jimmy Wilkinson up, yeah. Later on, this is what I was told, whether or not it's true I don't know, but Jimmy Wilkinson jumped off the lorry and took Cracknell's ear off, bit his ear off. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, them people like Jimmy Wilkinson, in them days, you had all them greengrocers. I mean, Tony, get his second name now. Terry knows him very well, yeah. I know him, but I always forget names. I was quite bad with names. Tony, anyway. This geezer's massive, yeah. I've got a picture of him, Terry and George Foreman. And his hands were bigger than George Foreman's. Big man. So, them greengrocers could have fights. They weren't fighting. He was handball champion, boxing champion, you know. And Colin knew not to fuck about with him, you know what I mean? And he was the same age as me, but he could really have it. I mean, he could march on. He could really march on. I'll get his name down on the podcast later on. but Colin was always weary of him, yeah. And Wilkinson, after that, Wilkinson and Colin, Cracknell, oh, that was loggerheads all the time. And you had Patsy Puddles, Chicky Summers. You had the Hole in the Wall, the one in Greenford, the big greengrocer's stall there. That belonged to Puddles or Summers, Alfie Summers. Some big old names there, mate. Some big old names. And I used to meet all them people down Bobo's. Anybody remember Bobo's? It was on the Skyline Hotel, big club, Bobo's, huh? And then when you look back at all these things, like years ago, Skyline, Bobo's was the club. Yeah, it was the proper club. I used to go there as a kid. Caused murders. I was always having fights with the doorman. I never stopped fighting. Even if I got a clump, even if I got a good idea, I'd always fight. And the Skyline, round the corner from the Skyline, they had a big jeweller shop, massive jeweller shop for Skyline itself. And it was so easy to do. This little firm, what they done, they reversed the van straight through the window, reversed this big van straight through, and all jumped out the back of the van, loaded up all the time. Fucking fortunes, the jury, because hotels, big hotel, American hotel, Skyline. It's before you had the Radisson Walden was built. That was the first one, but it was full of Americans, so they'll have jury, and they just put this little firm back to vanning, jumped out the back, nicked all the jewellery. They had the right tickle, mate. And when I was looking at Bobo's, went from Bobo's, and you looked at the jeweller shop, you knew that it's going to get done. But the way they done it was brilliant, you know, just reverse the van in there, and boom, like jumped out and had a right tickle, mate. Had a really, really good tickle out of that place, mate. Massive, a lot of money. Yeah, remember some times, mate, some good times. Fruit Market, Boathouse. Listen, I could go on. When we used to go to the Boathouse, Kew Bridge, yeah, the Fruit Market was over there, about, half a mile away. Then you had what's it called, extension, you had the club, you know, places like Boathouses was a club that's got a good name. It's not there no more. It's a shame they took it down. It was packed. That nightclub was packed. Me, Terry Woods, Johnny Wells, Collinses, Bobby Collinses, Wacker Collins. We used to go there, but we used to go there like porters. Scarves round her neck, flat cap, Slapers jeans, Dr. Martens, with turn up, you know, go there, big, strong guys from the market, and go there, and, you know, people go, fucking hell, it's that Ray Hill, it's the Collinses, it's this, it's the Welleses, you know, there'd be trouble tonight, and there was always trouble. Any time that we went there was always trouble. Because we loved it. We loved to cause trouble. We loved to fight, yeah. We love a fight. And you had big Molly Bush on the door there. I'd like to know who else was on the door. I think Dave Griffiths was on the door with him. But Molly Bush, he was massive. Massive. Anyway, that's the only guy, when he talks Lou Yates about this guy with a fur coat, it's either Jimmy Wilkinson or it's big Molly Bush, because Molly Bush 6'7", 6'8". I can't see Lou Yates bashing him up because he was a fantastic fighter, you know, really, really good fighter. Molly Bush, good pro, mate. Anyway, bang, bang, roll, nice one.